Welcome, my fleshy, to the Boneyard Scribe. And today's tale is one that'll make your very bones tingle and your hair stand on end like a startled porcupine. They say every small town has its secrets. Some have an alarmingly huge number of garden gnomes. Others boast the world's most aggressive flock of geese. But in this particular little community, their big secret isn't a secret at all. It's a hill, a very steep hill. And on this hill, 60 years ago, something truly tragic happened. Something that still has a knack for making cars defy physics and dust bunnies shiver in fear. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into a story where the only thing spookier than the past is the idea of your minivan getting pushed uphill by an invisible spectral force. And now, whose hands? There is a little community that could be any small town in just about any state in the United States. Our story begins 60 years prior to the writing of this narrative. A small bus with 16 elementary kids in it was going up the steepest hill in the town. The bus stopped at the top of the hill, and then the brakes went out. The bus hurled down the hill, and sadly, everyone on the bus was unalived. Their fears of unaliving, their screams, and the fact that they all met their end stained the road. Sometimes, if an event leads to a big enough stain, you get a haunting, and that is what happened here. Jeff Randall is 60 years removed from that accident. Yes, he knows the legend. Yes, he knows the people who say that they experienced something on the road related to the haunting. He, however, has not experienced anything on the street. Do you want to know what is said to happen? I'm more than eager to tell you. If you stand near the crash site, you might hear the screams of children and hear the crash. If your car is stopped up on the hill, then your car will get pushed up the hill. By the way, our man doesn't believe in ghosts. He thinks that they are just stories to tell around a campfire. Cars are always going up the road. People also live along the road. Jeff himself has lived here for 8 years before this event would happen. His driveway sits almost 200 feet away from the top of the hill. It seems likely that he might have at some point a ghostly experience on the hill. For 7 years, things have been pretty quiet on the ghost front, until one day, when the day just went from bad to interesting very quickly. On this day, Jeff's daughter missed the bus, and so he had to drive her to school, on top of being late for work himself. He contemplated calling her off from school, using the excuse that she had thrown up just before heading out the door. He just couldn't do it. As they came out of the driveway, she remembered that she had forgot something. He pulled back into the driveway, and then she hurried back into the house before her mother could leave for work and grabbed her house key. Her return to the minivan was followed by something totally unexpected. As he pulled out, onto the road, the minivan stalled. Just when he thought he was ready to call himself off, they felt something happen. It felt like the car moved. Now, I also need to add that the vehicle is a little dusty, so anything that brushes up against it is going to remove the dust from the van. Not only had it moved, but it had moved 200 feet up the hill. The adult in the van wanted to jump out, but he couldn't do that, not with his daughter in the car. Jeff and his daughter were both shocked by what had happened. Jeff turned the key, and by amazement, it started up immediately. When they arrived at the school, he remembered the tale of the ghost kids. He waited till his daughter was gone, then drove to a park and stopped the car. Getting out of the minivan, he went into the back of it and took a picture of what he found. Just above the back fender, there were 32 handprints of various sizes. Jeff was shocked and amazed. He then took pictures of the car and sent them to his wife and friends. If Jeff wasn't a believer of the supernatural before this morning, he will never doubt it again. And with that, my dear fleshies, the dust settles on another tale. It's time for me to return to my mausoleum, to organize my scrolls of woe and polish the bones of forgotten tales. As for Nature Guy X46, I imagine he's still trying to convince the dandelion that it's a terrifying carnivorous plant. Some fleshies just don't get the truly spooky things, do they? Until next time, when we journey into the unsettling depths of gray days to see what truly lurks beneath the lake's surface, farewell. Do remember, fleshies, to keep an eye on your bumper for those lingering handprints. They're a timeless memento, aren't they? Bye, fleshies.